welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something fundamental, something that sits right at the core of how we perform, how we change, or maybe why we don't change. We're talking about the self-image.
Yeah, and our guide for this is, frankly, a pretty unusual source. It's Dr. Maxwell Maltz's Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's fascinating because it blends, of all things, plastic surgery with, systems theory and engineering.
Right, it sounds like an odd mix. But it started because Maltz, who was this respected plastic surgeon, noticed something, well, paradoxical. He'd fix someone's physical issue, a scar, a facial feature.
And most times, boom, huge change. Confidence goes up, their whole outlook brightens, just what you'd expect.
But then there were these other cases, the outliers. The surgery would be perfect, technically speaking. The defect, gone.
Totally gone. But the patient, they didn't change inside. They still felt inadequate. They acted like they still had the old disfigurement. It was baffling.
The external fix, the physical reality, somehow wasn't penetrating their internal reality.
Exactly that. And that's what led Maltz to this big idea. The physical wasn't the main driver. The real controller was this internal mental blueprint. He called it the self-image.
Okay, self-image. So not just how you feel about yourself, but something more architectural.
Yeah, think of it like the master program. It dictates your feelings, sure, but also your actions, your behavior, and crucially, it sets the absolute limits on what you believe you're capable of doing.
Wow. So if my self-image says, I'm just average at this, my internal system will actively, sabotage me if I start doing exceptionally well?
Pretty much, yeah. It strives for consistency above all else. You literally cannot act consistently in a way that contradicts the kind of person you fundamentally believe yourself to be. Your performance snaps back to fit the blueprint.
Okay, that's a huge idea. To understand how it has that much power, Maltz looked beyond psychology, right? Into cybernetics.
Cybernetics, it literally means steersman. It's the science of control systems, like thermostats or guided missiles. Maltz realized the human brain and nervous system function like a super complex servo mechanism.
A servo mechanism. Okay, break that down. Sounds a bit like robotics.
Well, it is, in a way. Think of it as your built-in automatic guidance system. It's goal-striving. And the key thing, it's totally impersonal.
Impersonal, meaning it doesn't care what the goal is.
Exactly. It just executes the instruction. Feed it a goal of success and happiness, along with the self-image that supports that. And it functions as a success mechanism. It automatically steers you towards achieving it.
Okay.
But feed it negative goals or a self-image based on limitation and failure, and it operates just as faithfully as a failure mechanism. The system itself doesn't judge. It just works towards the target you provide.
Right. So machinery is powerful, but its direction depends entirely on the programming we give it, consciously or not.
Precisely.
Let's make this concrete. Because it's easy to think we control everything consciously. Take something simple like, I don't know, picking up this pen off the desk.
Right. You don't consciously think, okay, contract bicep 30 degrees, extend forearm. You just, decide to pick it up. Your goal is set. Pen in hand. And then the automatic system takes over. Your eyes provide continuous feedback. Am I on target? How far off? And the mechanism makes thousands of tiny, unconscious adjustments to your muscles until success. Goal achieved. It's like an internal torpedo homing in.
It's amazing when you think about it that way. Like that baseball outfielder you mentioned. Tracking a fly ball.
Oh yeah, incredible example. That player isn't doing trigonometry in their head, calculating trajectory, wind speed.
No way.
No. Their internal success mechanism does it instantly. It pulls up data from thousands of similar past experiences, catches, misses, and issues precise commands to the body. All automatic. The system works. The challenge is giving it the right target.
Okay, so we have this powerful automatic system running based on our self-image. But if that image is negative or outdated, how do we actually change it? It sounds pretty locked in.
Well, that's the core of Psycho-Cybernetics. Maltz found you don't change it through sheer intellect or just learning about it. You change it through experiencing. Yes. And the key, the absolute lever for creating new experiences is creative imagination. Because think about it. Our current self-image is just the sum total of our past experiences, both the real ones and the ones we just maybe imagined or interpreted.
Okay. So here's the critical bit for anyone listening. Your nervous system fundamentally cannot tell the difference between an actual real-world experience and an experience that you imagine vividly and in detail.
Bingo. It reacts appropriately to whatever you perceive or imagine to be true. If you vividly imagine success, your body and mind start reacting as if you're succeeding.
That sounds almost like, well, tricking yourself.
Yeah.
Is there proof this mental practice works?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just theory. Look at Ari Vandel's experiments. He had groups practice throwing darts. One group practiced physically, another just mentally visualized perfect throws.
Yeah.
The mental practice group improved their aim just as much as the physical practice group. Think about that. They got better without ever actually throwing a dart.
That's wild. So mental rehearsal is real practice neurologically.
It is. It lays down the pathways for success. Think of Alekhine, the chess champion. Preparing for his match against Capablanca, he spent 3 months playing chess only in his mind. He was running simulations, creating successful outcomes mentally.
Or salespeople.
Right.
Good ones often do this rehearsal practice.
Exactly. They imagine the meeting, picture the client raising objections, and mentally practice their responses until they feel confident and smooth. They're building the experience, the skill, before they walk in the door.
Okay, that's the potential upside. But let's talk about the flip side, the struggle. Why is it so hard to shake off negative beliefs like, I'm just not good with numbers, or I always mess up presentations?
Because, as Maltz put it, many of us are essentially hypnotized by a false belief about ourselves, and that belief, once accepted, directs the automatic mechanism just as powerfully as any positive one.
So it's like a self-imposed limitation.
Totally. Look at the story of Alfred Adler. As a kid, his teacher, his parents, everyone told him he was dumb in mathematics. He believed it. He performed as if it were true. His failure mechanism was fully engaged on that front. Until one day, something snapped. He got angry, maybe just fed up, marched to the blackboard, and somehow solved a problem no one else could. In that instant, the belief shattered.
And suddenly he wasn't dumb in math anymore. The capability was likely there all along.
Exactly. Which shows the incredible power of belief itself. It doesn't matter where the idea came from, a teacher, a parent, yourself. If you accept it, if you're convinced it's true, it operates with the force of a hypnotic suggestion.
So how do you break that hypnosis? How do you deprogram?
It takes conscious effort. You have to use rational thought to challenge the false belief, yes, but crucially, you have to stop dwelling on past failures. You have to deliberately focus your attention on the positive goal, and, as Maltz emphasized, you need to ACT as I.
Act as if? Meaning fake it till you make it.
Sort of, but it's deeper than that. It's about consciously choosing to embody the new role, even when it feels awkward or untrue at first. Like Dorothea Brand, the writer. She decided she was a productive writer and would act like one writing every day, whether she felt inspired or not. Her output soared because she acted into the new self-image.
Okay, acting as if. But how long does this take? This is where the famous 21 days comes in, right?
Yes. This is probably one of the most well-known and sometimes misunderstood parts of Psycho-Cybernetics. Maltz observed it took his plastic surgery patients about 21 days, minimum, to get used to their new faces. He proposed this as a general time frame for changing a mental image, too.
Now, 21 days. That's not really short. We hear about habits taking 66 days or longer to stick. Is 3 weeks realistic?
It's important to understand what the 21 days is for. It's not necessarily about achieving permanent, effortless change in that time. It's the minimum period Maltz believed was needed to consciously practice the new way of thinking or acting without letting your old self-image argue you out of it.
Ah, okay. So it's like a dedicated practice period where you suspend disbelief.
Exactly. During those 21 days, you just do the exercises. You practice the new role, the new mindset. You deliberately ignore the feelings of it being unnatural or fake. You're consciously carving out a new neural pathway.
You're recording new data, essentially. Creating those engrams you mentioned.
Precisely. Engrams are the physical memory traces in the brain. You're laying down the initial blueprint for the new behavior. After that minimum period, the new pattern starts to become more familiar, more automatic. The servo mechanism begins to lock on to the new target image.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's the initial installation period.
Yeah.
But what about trying too hard? We said the mechanism works best automatically. Can conscious effort actually backfire?
Oh, absolutely. Trying too hard, being too anxious about the result, constantly monitoring yourself, that's the quickest way to jam the whole creative mechanism.
Like when you're trying to thread a needle and you get really tense and your hand starts shaking?
That's exactly it. That's purpose tremor. You're generating excessive negative feedback. Am I doing it right? Oh no, I'm messing up. And that flood of anxiety paralyzes the smooth, automatic coordination you need. Being too careful makes you clumsy.
So the system needs a certain amount of relaxation, letting go.
Yes. You have to trust the automatic mechanism to do its job once you've given it the goal. Which leads us to Maltz's practical tools for managing his do-it-yourself tranquilizers.
Okay, I like the sound of that. What's the first one?
The most fundamental is simply relaxation. Deliberate physical relaxation.
Just chilling out. How does that help the success mechanism?
Because it's physiologically impossible to feel strong negative emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety when your muscles are completely relaxed. Those emotions have physical components: tension, readiness for action. If you deliberately relax the muscles, you cut off the physical feedback loop for anxiety.
Oh. So relaxing your body helps calm your mind.
It does. Maltz called relaxation nature's own tranquilizer. He even thought habitual relaxation could conserve your vital energy, your life force, making you more resilient overall.
Interesting connection between physical state and mental energy.
Yep.
Okay, what else?
Using that creative imagination again, but for sanctuary, he suggested creating a mental quiet room.
Quiet room. Like a mind palace kind of thing.
Sort of, yeah. A vividly imagined place you can retreat to mentally. You furnish it in your mind with peaceful colors, maybe calming sounds like waves, a view of nature, whatever feels deeply restful to you.
And the point is to mentally go there during the day.
Exactly. Even for just a few minutes between tasks or when you feel stressed, use it to mentally depressurize. Clear out the emotional static, the leftover tension from one situation so it doesn't bleed into the next, and jam your mechanism.
Like a mental reset button. Okay, relaxation, the quiet room.
Yeah.
What's the final piece for keeping the mechanism running smoothly?
It's about actively cultivating that winning feeling. This is the counterintuitive part. Most people focus on problems. They worry constructively, they think, by analyzing everything that could go wrong.
Right, trying to anticipate failure.
But Maltz says that's feeding the failure mechanism. Instead, you need to worry constructively in a different way. By habitually generating positive mental pictures, focus on the desired end result. Feel the feeling of success in advance.
So you're giving the servo mechanism a clear, positive target image to lock onto.
Yes. Your nervous system responds to the dominant image you hold in mind. Make it a positive one. Give it that winning feeling to guide its automatic striving.
Okay, so let's pull this together for everyone listening. We've explored this idea of the brain as this incredible automatic goal-seeking machine.
Right. And the big takeaway is that success, the way Maltz sees it, isn't really about status or what others think. It's about satisfactory accomplishment of a goal sought for. It's about functioning as the goal-striving beings we naturally are. Happiness is almost a side effect of that process working correctly.
You have this powerful success mechanism built in. It's ready to go. Your job is basically to give it clear, positive goals using your imagination, make sure you're relaxed enough to let it operate without jamming it, and then stick with practicing the new way of being for long enough, that 21-day minimum, to install the new program.
Exactly. And maybe the most profound final thought from Maltz to leave you with. He really believed this was connected to our vitality, our life force. He saw faith, courage, optimism, looking forward. These weren't just nice attitudes. They literally brought more life.
So the question for you, listening right now, is, what self-limiting belief, what negative hypnosis about yourself are you currently holding on to? And could you commit, starting today, to using these ideas to actively erase and replace it over the next 21 days? What new possibility could that open up?